Hello, solo challenge tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play some more Final Fantasy Renaissance with me, BlueAnkylo. Last episode, we started, if you can believe it, we started a solo New Game Plus Dragoon run. This is episode 2. We've been playing for not even an hour, and we've already killed the Lich. And there's not much that's going to slow us down from here, I don't think. I have a good feeling that today is actually going to go even speedier than yesterday. So, what's going on? Dragoon, very good class. Heavy armor, good weapons, very similar to the fighter in vanilla. No magic like the knight, like we don't get any white magic. But the level 1 to 3 white magic was never a big deal, I don't think, for the fighter solo runs or anything. Like, it didn't really make any difference. So, all we're dealing with is, like, a heavy armor guy that doesn't get a shield, strictly speaking. But you trade all that other stuff for jumping, which is, you know, pretty strong. As you can see. Guaranteed crit, I believe. One less number of attacks than a normal attack. If I swing my spear normally, make regular attack, I'll get 4 attacks. But if I jump, I'll get 3 hits on anyone I hit. Now, super jump hits everything for 3 instead of 1 for 4. And regular jump hits 1 for 3. But they also ignore enemy defense, which, well, if you know the mechanics of FF1, enemy defense is a problem for a lot of enemies, especially when you're, like, using kind of low base damage weapons, like maybe a thief has. I didn't think the giants would be able to survive a hit yet. Because we got, last episode near the end, we got to the break point, the threshold at which we get 3 attacks, or, well, 4 base attacks, or 3 per jump. And I was kind of expecting everything to die in 1 jump at this point, whereas those giants did not. It's not a big deal, but we're just going to keep on rolling. Now, today we have a choice. We're about to get our canoe, which will unlock Ice Cave, Ordeals, and the Volcano. 3 dungeons, potentially. The usual thing is to go straight to Ice Cave and then fly. Other good options, Ordeals, if you're trying to get, like a gold bracelet, or, the Zeus's Gauntlet is very good for a lot of solo runs, because you can cast Lightning 2 in battle, which, you know, AoE is pretty important for most of the melee classes. However, we don't really care about any of that stuff. Sorry to say, unless there's a better spear in one of those dungeons, I don't really need to do them at all. I think I'm just going to go Volcano while I'm here. Volcano is fairly easy, and it's really good for experience right now, actually, because the encounters aren't going to insta-kill me, I don't think. Unlike both Ordeals and Marsh get a lot of, like, just really annoying insta-death, stun-touch kind of fights. The Volcano, not so much, and if you're a fan of especially randomizer races from a few years ago, where black belts were everyone's favorite go-to to carry a party through the final dungeon, there is something about the Volcano that's uniquely special for a very melee-focused and solo run, basically. Traditionally, this is very common for monks to go to get a bunch of levels very quickly, but I think it'll work just fine for Dragoon. In fact, maybe better than you'd think, because if you remember last episode, I was talking about all the Dragoon skills. Jump and super jump I've been using a lot. Limit is good, but you only get 1 per in-trip. But there's this dragon killer thing, and, like, being super effective against dragons doesn't sound like a great strat, because dragons tend to have, like, really high damage and elemental breath attacks and stuff. So it's like, you probably don't want to farm actual red Ds and white Ds and all that, right? But, there's other things that count as dragons, it turns out, because the game coders just applied that tag to a lot of creatures. And, maybe you guys have put together what might be considered a dragon. And I think red hydras count, actually. Let me see how much damage we do. Yeah, probably. That's a lot of damage. I need to keep a good eye on my healing potions. We could run out if we're not careful. The usual Volcano rules: when you're walking on lava, you take 1 damage per step, but there's no encounters. Which is why I'm not bothering with repels, because they're not really very important in here. You could certainly use repels and have 0 random encounters, I think. It's not a big deal. I guess we could go pick up... No, there's no point picking up any of the gear in here, is there? The only thing that might be useful is the flame armor that the dragon's guarding on the bottom. Like, we're almost done the dungeon already. The reason, like, it's one of the reasons I came here, is it's such a short dungeon if you don't go get all the loot. However, this room here, it's kind of special. Maybe if you just played it casually, you didn't think much about it. But these Agamas, you know, they're not that tough. And did you know they count as dragons? So they will always die in 1 hit, I think. And did you see how much XP they give? We might even be able to just attack them without using jump and kill them. But in New Game Plus, they get a lot of... they have a lot of health compared to vanilla. But yeah, this is a pretty efficient grind. I know last episode I said I'm never grinding again, but I mean, I can't resist showing this off. You know, it's pretty cool, right? I don't know if there's any good breakpoints that would be worth grinding to at this level, but this is kind of why I went to Volcano. I was like, well, in the time it takes me to explain it, we can probably get here and get a level up or 2 off of the Agamas. Because, well, that's how the Agama grind goes. It would be a little bit faster if we didn't have to jump. A little. And yeah, we still need a jump for a one-shot, I guess. So, that's fine. We're not quite as powerful as like a level 40 monk that just punches them to death in a single hit, but we definitely can jump on them in a single hit. So I think this proves my point that coming to the volcano first is a good idea. I'm not gonna... Maybe just 1 more level, we'll say. I know, I'm lying. I'm you know, fake Ankylo news, giving you guys incorrect information. I'm never gonna grind again, and then I grind again. But regardless, we could get to 128 hit rate. That's 14 away. That's 5 more levels, and that would make us even stronger if that's what you want to do. I don't think we need to worry about that. We should... There's got to be some more magic spears to find out in the world. Trying to remember. I think I know where they all are, strictly speaking, from past playthroughs, but... there's one in the water shrine at the bottom. There's one in the flying fortress at the top. We can buy one probably once we get an airship, I think. Where's all my cool spears at? But yeah, the flame armor is an upgrade. If you're wondering, 10 more absorb and less evade, and we are resistant to ice, which, you know, is good. Anyway, let's wrap up this little dungeon. Part of my plan today is, just like yesterday, I'm trying to go fast. So sometimes getting a few levels is probably going to speed us up a little bit, but we might really be at the point where we're just going to kill things as we travel and we don't need to worry about it. Now that is, we could put the repels on and not fight anything if we think we're too strong, or maybe we're running out of heal potions or something, but I think killing as we go will be the way forward. Especially because you can buy heal potions in large quantities. If you had to buy them one at a time, maybe I would change my tune. Anyway, say hi to Carrie. She might be a magic beast. I don't know. Doesn't seem super likely. She hasn't got a turn yet. So how do you like it? How do you like me now? That's another fiend down. So what was that? Less than 10 minutes from the start of the video? Yeah. And we even had a little baby grind. Sure. That's fair. Yeah, those Grimps, they knew what's coming. They're like, run away, flee! What about these fish? Are the fish smart? The fish are not very smart. Fish are not really known for intelligence, I wouldn't say, probably. Alright, I don't think there's any reason to go to Ordeals. We're just going to go straight to Ice Cave. And we're definitely going to be using repels in ice. Unlike Volcano, where I'm fairly happy fighting most of the random encounters, Ice Cave, you know, many a solo challenge has died in the Ice Cave. On the icy depths, getting rubbed out or stun locked, more likely even than that. Let's make sure we're fully stocked on heals. Our money is kind of getting out of control. That's one of the things Agamas are extra good for. I missed one. We don't need houses or anything. I don't know. A few pure potions is fine. And some more safety cabins. Alright, but I think that's all we need. We're pretty well stocked for saves and heals. Level 30. Yeah, let's go. I mean, level 30 is very high, don't get me wrong. If you're not playing on New Game Plus mode, this is usually like beating the game level. However, New Game Plus mode, your group of 4 is probably likely to hit level 50 near the end anyway, without really trying. So for a solo run, of course we're gonna hit 50 without trying very hard. It's just, enemies are just gonna give you however much, whatever the multiplier is for New Game Plus mode is, and then times 4 because you're solo. So you get all the experience person, which is probably one of my favorite things about solo challenges is that you just get all the XP to one guy. You do level up very quickly. Even though a lot of times you have to grind for a long time to get enough. You know, these fish should really be running away. I mean, these ogres, they're smarter, right? Yeah. So yeah, we're doing like 600 damage on a random jump. That's pretty solid. Okay, so Ice Cave. I will use the same rules as Marsh, where I'll do the first floor, and then after that I'll use repels. I'm not sure if 4 repels is enough to do the full circuit. I kind of doubt it. It's a pretty long way to go, but if I have to take random encounters, I'd rather do this one floor here. Because this floor doesn't have sorcerers and mages. It just has wizards and these things. This is still a bad fight. Yeah, of course. Same exact problem I had in Marsh. Couldn't even survive the first floor. What am I without my repels? Useless. At least the wizards don't count. And we're high enough level that they run away anyway, so that tends to be the point where ice isn't too bad. This fight is real rough on like a solo fighter or thief because they hit pretty hard, and if you don't have a way of AoEing them down, typically, without going to ordeals early, yeah, that's a rough one. Not that we have to worry about that. Okay, so that was a little bit better RNG. This floor tends to be a bit more annoying, so we'll throw the repel on. If we run out of repel before the end of the cave, this floor is not too bad. You could take a couple encounters there. This is where the enemy mages show up, and we hate them. I don't need the ice sword or flame sword that was in that room. This floor has ice armor. I don't think I need that either. There's some dragons you could grind. You could kill some frost dragons pretty easily. I think we're just going to try to get out of here in as minimum steps as possible. And the fact that we're just ignoring all the random encounters, yeah, makes this... I wonder if there's any spears in here. Am I actually missing upgrades? I don't think so. I actually have a tab open. I could check. While I'm jumping around here, let me check my spears. Someone put together a list of all the magic, all the weapons and stuff in the Renaissance. We are up to arcane and platinum. Oh, there's only 2 spears left, I think. There's not as many spears. Oh no, there's 3 spears left. There's one in the Sea Shrine, one in Mirage, and one in the Floating Castle. I forgot about the Mirage one. Yeah. As long as this fight doesn't kill us, and I think we're good, we're done. This was the last forced fight I think we were gonna do. So if we manage to one-shot ice with some repels, you know, definitely worth it. And I think you could get away with 3. Because this is enough to get clear of the worst of the floors. And might even be enough to clear this one as well. Yeah. So if you wanted to use 4 repels, you could skip the first floor as well. I guess 4 repels is enough to full clear the ice cave if you take the least number of steps. Like, you can always waste your steps and fight more, but... yeah, that was I mean, we had to fight the eye and the trap tile twice. But, you know, you could definitely still get stun locked on the trap tile. the drop-down trap tile. But, you know, that's only 2 fights plus the eye, and the eye doesn't really count. First turn, it's going to use quad X, and as long as you have more than 300 hit points, that won't do anything. And then it's dead, because we're killing it in one shot, so... Maybe it can use the glance skill instead of quad X and turn you to stone. But that doesn't happen very often, I guess. That wouldn't happen to you. Alright, and now we're in the air. Alright, so lots of stuff to do once you get access to your wings. First things first, buy the bottle. Second thing second, we have a side quest. We can unlock it now. And we also want to get a ribbon, so this makes sense anyway. So if you remember, I did talk to the quest giver guy back in Cronaria. Once you're promoted, he tells you sort of what to do to get your quests. And he mentioned a lone dragon that might have a quest for us. Which, if you remember, this is a Dragoon, the dragon that lives here. A Dragoon? Oh, please don't kill me. Just kill 100 other enemies. That doesn't start counting until you pick up that quest. So. Now we need to kill 100 enemies via jumping. So jump around, jump up, and get down. I forget the exact words. Look, I'm a friggin' 80s kid, 90s kid. I hit high school in the 90s. Everyone knows jump. Let's just forget about all that and keep going. Should play that as the background music for your jump run. But yeah, right now we actually don't want to skip fights because we need to finish that side quest. The sooner we finish that side quest, the better. You could keep count. I think you have to keep. He said like 100. So big groups of like 9 is the most optimal, I suppose. But I'll kill whatever gets in the way. I've got enough repels that we can leave at any time, because the waterfall's not very long for a dungeon. Perhaps, if you're really worried, you could repel until you get to the treasure room. Then you get to pick up the ribbon, and that makes random encounters a lot safer. Because you're not going to get stun locked pretty much ever once you've got a ribbon. I mean, it's possible, but it's pretty rare. We'll also be getting close to another swing, I think. Yeah, one more level up and we'll get another swing, another attack. Pretty cool, right? So this, if I had been smart, I would have stopped in Gaia and bought a Protect Ring, which would have prevented that. I thought the odds would be fairly low. They're not very common encounters, and, you know, you could just not get bad luck. But, okay. Okay, game. Should have bought that Protect Ring. To be fair, as soon as we finish our side quest for the 100 jumps, that won't matter ever again either. Really, not to spoil it, but the Dragoon side quest effectively wins us the game, except for maybe a couple bosses. But you'll see. Sure sucks when the enemy goes first and paralyzes you or kills you instantly, right? That's not very nice. It'd be great if we had waited. This is very unlucky, I have to say. Okay, we should be fine, but that was like such a rare random encounter that's just the worst possible thing. Alright. I guess technically we could get stoned here. Just don't. We got put to sleep. Which is not as bad, but still annoying. Come on, just need one turn. One action. That's all I need. There. I think this is going to be enough to kill the whiz mummies. Okay, don't prove me wrong, game. Also, that's a lot of experience. 16,000 XP for one fight. Pretty worth. I mean, we're not quite as quick through places like this as a someone that has warp or exit, because you could just leave right now, basically. But now we don't have to worry. Oops. We don't have to worry about getting insta-killed so much. I'll do some looting. The defense sword is potentially helpful, lets us cast Ruse on ourselves, although it's really only going to matter for some bosses. Those birds know what's up. They just immediately all flew away. That's correct. Alright. I'm trying to rack up these 100 kills here. I would definitely like the 100 kills before I go into the next big dungeon. Any jump kill should count, whether it's a super jump or a regular jump. Also 1200 damage, by the way. The DPS is kind of insane. I won't lie. I mean, you may notice the super jump is doing more than a nuke, by the way. I haven't really highlighted this in a while, but the numbers are out of control. If you were playing a solo Black Wizard, you wouldn't probably have nuke yet. Well, you could, I guess, technically. Once you get the airship, you can go pick it up. If you're level 35, you could cast nuke. But, you know, you're only going to be able to cast it a few times per dungeon without resting and recharging. And nukes is only like 100 to 400 damage. We are consistently doing way, way more. Let's not accidentally die, though. Let's pump some heals in there. So, I don't think there's anyone that can do as consistently high area of effect damage as the Dragoon. And it's just... It's not as impressive in a full party, because the rest of the group takes hits while you're flying around, right? I mean, if you had 4 Dragoons, it wouldn't actually work all that well, because there's only going to be one of these quest rewards, I think. Should have jumped. We haven't killed 100 yet, I'm pretty sure. We'll come back to Onrak once we've got 100 kills. Alright, let's deal with our fairy quest here. Suppose I could buy a pro ring while I'm here. It doesn't really matter because, you know, now we've got the ribbon. But it does provide more basic armor than a silver glove. So 8 absorb rather than like 3 or something, or 4. Alright, weapons we could sell. I really don't need money that badly anyway at this point. It's no big deal. All we need money for is if I feel like I want to rappel through a dungeon, or if I want... I mean, I will need some heals, but comparatively very cheap. Someone was like, Blue, how do you make a party with no healers? You're going to run out of heal potions. Well, obviously, I'm pretty used to it. And there's only really one class that's got direct heals that are viable. Okay, so level 35, we have more swings. We could go straight to water. We could do ordeals, but ordeals is... There's nothing in well, I'm going to do it anyway. I mean, no, I'm trying to do this as fast as possible, right? There's nothing stopping me from doing ordeals, but... there's nothing, it doesn't give me anything, right? It's just, the Zeus's glove doesn't matter. The stuff I need is actually in Water Shrine. And by need, I mean, like, we need the slab, the power glove, maybe. And we need to kill Kraken, I guess. Hurry up, it's raid night. It's different achievement for certain games. How are we doing for kills? We've only killed 47. Part of going fast. Maybe you could save your Agama grind until after you've killed, until you've come up here. Like, I suppose if you went Ice Cave, and then, oh, we didn't actually one-shot the Gersharks. If you go Ice Cave, Airship, on rack, and then back to Volcano, that's a good way to get some free kills for the quest. So the earlier you get to on... Yeah, that might be a little bit more efficient, maybe. Get the ribbon, get the quest started. This is a level that you could definitely repel, because the ghosts are going to be a problem. Let's see how this goes. Do I even get a turn? Fortunately, we one-shot them. This is why I wanted that little quest done. Again, I'm still dancing around what it actually does, but the ghost would not be a problem if I had finished my side quest. but I'm trying to go quick. Mage Staff doesn't matter. Light Axe doesn't matter. Boy, there's not a lot of items we really need, right? I guess the Opal Bracelet actually is probably worth picking up. It'll be equal in absorb to the fire armor. And we have no need for elemental protection right now because the ribbon covers it. So same absorb, better evasion. On the off chance we get stunned instantly or something. But there's nothing else in here we need, I don't think. Just a bunch of opal stuff you could sell. I'm not even sure the Dragoon can equip that, actually. No. Basically just knights. Knights and maybe Mystic Knights? Can't warp out, but we don't have too far to go. I mean, do you really think the Kraken could stop us at this point anyway? I mean, doesn't seem very likely. These big groups are what we need to get this quest done, for sure. I think what I'll do, because I'm pretty confident, sure, we could grind a little bit and finish the quest, but I think we'll just go save back in town and then go kill the Kraken, because I don't think that's going to be a huge challenge. We'll pick up the Power Glove on the way down, because obviously we need that. Well, need, strong word. I would like to have a way of boosting my attack, just to show off stupid numbers, if I want to show off stupid numbers. Sometimes it's fun to just make number big, you know. But, other than ghosts, I don't think we're going to have too much trouble. We need 35 more kills. I'm not even going to bother buying healing potions. You could certainly rappel through all this stuff, but like I said, I really want to finish that quest. I don't really want to have to come back to Onrak, so I'd like to have this quest, you know, before we go to Mirage. We could keep count. This is 4. We were at, what, 65? This should be 69, I think. I'll try to keep count. Something to do while we're coming down here. That's the stuff. So this is, assuming they don't run away, this will put us at 78. 77. 76. 75, 74. Dang it. Zoom, zoom. Maybe 75? Just one more? Still can't one-shot Gersharks. They're maybe the strongest enemy down here, I guess, in terms of health. Could be 79 with a little bit of luck. Lobsters get hard, though. Woof. Woof! Okay, that should be 79 out of 100. Don't think we're in any real worry of running out of heal potions. Power Glove is bottom left, if I remember correctly. I generally do. We don't need the second ribbon. We don't need light axes. We really don't need much. That should be, what, 81, I think? Getting small encounters here. Almost better to get more, but this should put us at, I think, 82. I could be off. We're gonna technically... I know I just bought that pro ring. I need the inventory slot for something else soon enough. Okay, come on. Don't run away. 82 to potentially 91. 90, 89. 88. Okay, we got 82 to 89. I don't know. I lost count. Close to 90, let's say. This is another good fight. This could be 7 more. Okay, we're probably around 97-ish. Which means with just a couple more encounters, I think by the time we get to the Kraken, we'll probably have it. Well, we have to go back to town to actually get it, but we'll have satisfied the quest conditions at the very least. And maybe it's for the best, because, well, we're already very strong. This is just gonna stack it even higher. So this trident is, I don't know how effective this really is. You lose a lot of base damage, but you get crit and hit rate, like 1 extra attack, basically, and a lot of crit. Is it actually better than the last lance? I don't know. It's not actually effective against aquatic like I thought it would be. A trident is kind of meant for fishing. The damage values, like, seem pretty similar, so I'll use it for now, but I don't know if it's actually an upgrade. It's kind of unfortunate. The base damage drop is still very important. The crit rate doesn't even matter as much because we're jumping for guaranteed crits, but extra hits help. It's just, I'm not sure. I think against the Kraken, it might count as a magic beast. I know it's aquatic for sure, but it may also be a magic beast, in which case the other spear would still be better. Not like it really... I mean, hey, we were having a hard time one-shotting the Gersharks with the last spear. This seems to reliably do way more damage against those, so maybe that's a good sign for this. Alright, we should be okay here. I could always start defending up, but I don't think that's necessary. Ooh, wouldn't have mattered. Frick me, man. The turn order. Oh, that sucks. That really sucks. Because if I finish the quest in time... Alright, alright. The defend sword would not have changed anything there. So we're gonna have to do this again. That's gonna slow down my time. That's unfortunate. That's I feel like that's really unlucky. Any solo run would have been killed there, I think. Basically, Kraken goes first, does 500 damage, and then you hit it. It's pretty hard to one-shot it. Second turn, it goes first again and finishes you off. If you had used the defense sword, he would have hit you for 500. You would have had 1 stack of evade. He may not have hit you 8 out of 8, but he still would have hit you enough to kill you after 1 use of ruse. There's no way that would have been enough to save us. So, I don't really think there was any other choice I had there other than we can't let him go first. And if he had used his skill or any other option he had, we would have also been fine, but... ah, well. Sorry, guys. Gotta redo this dungeon. So, how's it going? You enjoying this solo run? Solo challenge? I mean, that's the first boss loss we've had, I think. And it's always possible. I mean, Carrie can do something similar. If she doesn't hit as hard, but she can still hit really hard on New Game Plus. And, sometimes the turn order just, you know, doesn't work. The good news is, it's a pretty straight run. It doesn't take very long to get back. We'll probably have less... We won't hit the 100 mark this time around for our quest, though, of course. I swear, this trap tile often... I mean, it has, I think, anything between, like, 1 and 6 waters. It's so weird for me to just keep getting exactly 1 over and over again, because... it's usually more dangerous. Alright, good for XP, or, well, not for XP, good for quest. Sort of. Whew, okay. I would say my luck for this solo run, as much as I have been pushing the limits a little bit, trying to go fast, has been a little bit on the poor side. We've had some pretty unfortunate encounter luck with ambushes and certain enemies like the Perilous Pack. The Kraken got really good turn order against us. And obviously, it needed a little bit of luck. It doesn't automatically do 500 damage with all crits. Like, it has to crit a lot to do that. So, you know, kind of just little bit of the game shoving it back at me, being like, you're not invincible, Blue. You're strong, but you're not that strong. But we're also getting dangerously close to max level. I think we're going to be, what, level 40 or so again? Was there, like, a special effect? I know I've got my message speed on super fast, but I feel like there's some extra text after some of those crits. Besides just terminated, maybe, but... It would be neat if there was like a on-hit effect. I mean, it's a trident. Maybe you could get paralyzed as it, I don't know, pulls your leg muscles out or something. There's a tough fight. Unrunnable, hits hard. It's real hard. Sure hope I get a turn, yeah. Not to continue complaining, but if I had been a bit more patient, maybe that's the real story here. If I was a bit more patient and finished getting to level 14 before I went to the marsh and finishing my 100 jump kills before I went into the dungeon, this would all be much easier. Well, we need a little bit of danger to make it exciting for the kids watching at home. Alright, don't... Oh, man, the turn order right again. That's insane. We got... So the first turn, he went before us, and then we landed and we went before him. So we got the... We basically lost a 50-50 flip in turn order both turns. Alright. My amazing time has basically completely fallen apart. Should I just try to get my stupid jump? I don't think there's any challenge at all if I get this. Kill 35 enemies, fine. I was trying to avoid another grind sesh, but... And the enemies like to run away, so it's annoying. Sorry, guys. Kraken says, you shall not pass. And I still think we can beat him. Like, as it is, we could definitely beat him. It just requires us not to have the absolute worst turn order in history. That's 6 out of 35. This should be 9 out of 35. Like, it's not even going to take that long. If I just did this the first time, fine. Looks like 11 out of 35. Friggin' sharks. But you can see, like, assuming things had gone to plan, we actually got, like, 5 level ups just getting to the Kraken normally. Like, we got from level 38 to level 43 or so. So, like, we don't really need a grind. In fact, for experience, this is... We're just going to hit 50 and then stop getting experience. So, like, this is why I was trying to avoid a dedicated, you know, kill session, basically. We're going to over-level. I lost count. At least 14? Because I missed a fight. So at least 21. This should get us to 25 out of 35 minimum. And just about as many levels as we got on the way down. Yeah, I don't well, I don't know. 100 kills is not a big deal, but on New Game Plus mode solo, that's so much experience. I guess you could go jump on imps, but they'll just run away, so it's not that good. I think we're at least 25. Again, I'm losing count because my mind's just turning off. 28 at least. We might be done after this fight, but I'll make sure I overkill it a little bit just so I don't have to redo this. Not that it's very far away. 28. 32. You think I'm actually 3 under? If this is a total of 32 plus whatever I missed. Let's give it a try. I know I said I didn't want to underdo it, but I also want to trust my math. Dang it. Not even close. 93. That means I overcount. I thought I was at 32 out of 35. Not like 27. I wonder if it... Oh, maybe... You know what? Because I punched the... I was thinking of kills, not jump kills. Because the Gersharks I keep killing via melee. That's what I messed up. Because I don't one-shot them with the jump until I get the better spear. So, that's on me. My count might have been accurate, but I wasn't using jumps to kill. Alright, alright. So that was 6. We needed 7, right? So like one more fight should do it. Yeah, there's definitely some text that scrolls on certain jumps, but not sure what it says exactly. Nothing to worry about too much, probably. All right, leaping boots. So this is the big one I was looking for. It enables quick jump, and it took me a little while to figure out what it meant, because it's not like we jump in one turn. It's not like you jump and land in the same turn. But what it does mean, and this was easier to figure out solo than in a group, it's that you always go first when you use the jump command. So we jump at the beginning. It's like we have priority. It's like quick attack in Pokemon rules. We always jump and land at the beginning of the round. Now, in the end, it's similar because you're never going to jump before an enemy and then land on the second turn after the enemy has their turn. So you can't completely skip all enemy attacks. However, you will always jump first, which means if you can one-shot the group, it doesn't matter. And that's why it's so strong solo like this. Because for the most part, we're strong enough to solo, like to one-shot everything. And seeing as we always go first, and even though we're technically landing first and open, like we're kind of vulnerable to enemy attack after we land, I mean, not if they're dead, right? So it's a very kind of glass cannon-y sort of style build where you put all your damage up front. But as long as you kill everything, it doesn't matter, right? So this means if we fight the Kraken, it will only get one retaliation per jump. It will never get a double hit on us like what has been killing us lately. Now, we also have some more levels, so we might be strong enough just to kill him in one shot anyway at this point. But this is what I wanted to show off, and we just had a little bit of pain getting there. And I think this is specifically why I think the Dragoon is the strongest. This is like, we're doing like 2 or 3 nukes, probably more than 2. We're doing 3 or 4 nukes worth of damage. And we always go first. So, any random encounter, there's very few enemies that can survive a double, triple nuke or whatever. And we're still pretty durable. It's not like we're like weak or anything. We're still like fighter armor, effectively, right? Well, we're using the Opal Bracelet right now, but we're gonna get the Dragon armor once we get to Mirage, which is higher absorb even still. But yeah, lots of hit points. Always go first. Tremendous damage. Really, like, kind of insane damage. I think literally the highest. Well, it's weird for DPS because this is technically attacking every second turn. And in a normal 4-party composition, we're doing a lot of damage after waiting a turn, which isn't great for my usual combat strategy. But when you're doing it solo, it might as well just be the first thing you do is 1,000 damage to the entire enemy party. So it might as well be instant rather than waiting a turn anyway. And yeah. I don't know. What else do I say? I feel like this just watch, just watch. 5 waters. Remember how they almost killed me last time because my turn order didn't work out? Well, now they don't get a turn. How do you like them apples? And yeah, I didn't even bother to use Repel because, well, I want to show this off. And we might as well get to level 50 anyway, so. Alright, Kraken. You kinda spoiled my fun here last couple tries. Let's not do that again. I could defense strat, but I refuse. Kill him. Alright, he's still getting his pretty big hit in, but he won't get another turn, I don't think. Yeah. So, still not perfect. The Kraken basically refused to chill. Instead of like using its ink attack or anything else, it's just basically decided it must smack us. Which is not guaranteed. It's not 100% hit rate or anything. It definitely doesn't have to do that. But that's fine. You definitely could try using your defense ruse strats, but that much very relies on turn order. You don't get priority for that. So if they go first, they'll still hit you for 500 damage, and then you'll ruse, and then if they hit you first, second turn again, you're probably dead anyway. So it's not actually, like, I think some people in the comments might be writing, like, Blue, just use the ruse strats. It's more reliable. I actually don't think it is, because you have to rely on enemy turn order, and if they go first, It'll happen before you get your ruse, and you can definitely be killed before you can get your perfect evasion stacked up. Because it takes, it actually takes 3 casts, I think, to get max evade on a heavy fighter like me, So, it only takes the Kraken 2 hits to kill you, and it takes 3 turns where it could go first to get your evade stacks. If you have no other choice, that's fine. But we had another choice. Hey there, dinosaurs. Yeah, he's pretty smart. It's just out of here. Sees this Dragoon fly up in the air, is like, nah, I'm out. I mean, we are getting to be a pretty high level, nearly capped already. Not really intentional, just the nature of New Game Plus mode and solo. I think, unless you repel all dungeons, if you're playing along, you might already level 50, honestly, because I've been trying not to grind. Failing a little bit. But I'm trying, you know. Alright, how long are we into this video? We're at 45 minutes. Can we beat the game in 15 minutes? Maybe. As long as I just one-shot everything, we don't actually die again. I think we got significantly delayed in Sea Shrine, unfortunately. That double death to Kraken just really... And then the forced grind session to overcome it. That was definitely not my plan. And I think, honestly, we had a good chance of basically killing Kraken the first time, and then finishing the quest without any grind, and that would have, you know, we'd probably be like 10 minutes ahead. But, oh well. Okay, level 48, we need dragon armor, and a couple new spears, theoretically. And that's it. There's not much else to really look at. I mean, we could try to find a war machine, or not a war machine. Well, war mech. They renamed him War Machine, I think. War mech sounds cooler, right? 10 grand per Tyro. I mean, you could grind those back in the Peninsula of Power, you know, before you even fight the pirates if you wanted. This might be one of the easiest classes in New Game Plus mode to get to level 50 before you fight the pirates, if that's some sort of special quest you want to do. There's a special job for you guys. Fight Peninsula of Power to level 50 before you fight pirates. And they'll probably all just run away instantly. Definitely not that hard to do, I don't think. I mean, it's going to be slower because you don't have an inn nearby, but... And you're not going to be doing this kind of crazy damage immediately. You're going to have a much weaker spear, but... the jump damage scale's pretty good. I think once we get to level 50, I'll just put on repels. Not that there's really any enemies that can stop us. I don't think there's anything in this dungeon that can kill us. I want the dragon armor, which is this one, and there's a special spear, so might as well upgrade everything. So Holy Spear, definitely an upgrade for Arcane. It does holy damage, which it's pretty rare, but a lot of undead is weak to holy. We're losing 20% hit rate, but gaining 15 damage. Is it worth it? I don't know. You tell me. And then similarly, we're going from 34 absorb to 42, although we're getting some evade drop for it, but at this point, I don't think that really matters. What enemy even gets a turn, right? Other than bosses. But yeah, Holy Spear, I think, decent. Other things we might want to pick up. There's not much. Blue D's, I'm sorry, but you're dead. We are super effective against dragons, no matter what spear we equip. Not a very good guardian. In fact, Tiamat herself, not a great guardian. I think it's the top left that has the spear added in. Nice. So this is the ultimate spear, possibly. Tempest Spear. Again, dropping hit rate for a little bit more damage. I'm not sure if that's worth it, but it says it ensures jump success. What does that mean? I have no idea. I don't know. Can jumps fail? Have we ever seen it? I know you can miss after a jump, or at least depending on the number of attacks you get and your hit rate, just like a normal attack, you can technically miss. But I'm not sure if I've seen failed jumps. Maybe I'm just playing too quickly. But either way, this one theoretically means you can't fail. So we can't fail, apparently. And yeah, of course, not needing to fight encounters makes it go very fast. You know, Tiamat, I don't think is actually going to put up as much fight as Kraken because, yeah. Oh, it survived! 1900 damage. Wow, good job. Okay. That'll do. Okay. And we're done. So, all we need is 4 more repels, some heal potions, and actually, I will, just for fun, I'm going to pick up the warp stone, although I don't think I'm going to use it. I think you have to break the orb first to pick it up, and we're going to Canary anyway, so... this is just wasting steps and some precious seconds from our speed run, but... in theory, this means you could, like, get the Mass Immune, or the Mazmune, sorry, gotta say it right, and get out, even with a non-mage group, but I don't think there's any reason to leave. Like, it's not necessary. So what do you guys think? Solo challenge? Is it a challenge? I mean, we're not done yet, right? But compared to the past 2 runs, we did a New Game Plus mode. I think I was pretty impressed with our New Game Plus party last time. The, whatever that group composition was we did in the last Let's Play. Dancer, Paladin, whatever all the other ones are. The Blue Mage, even the Hunter. Or no, the Hunter was the first one. It was... I forget them all. It's just too many. There's too many people. Interesting that you can eat a repel at. So that's like Dragon Warrior strats. You can use a repel and then buy a repel. So you can actually start with no encounters until it runs off. So you can kind of with the airship you can kind of get 5 repels worth of distance. That's pretty good. If I was going to repel any encounters in here, where would I do it? The last floor is the worst. The Water Shrine might be the second worst. Actually, the floor we just zoomed through is probably, with the potential for gas Ds, is maybe the one we actually should repel. We'll do it here. Obviously, I don't actually think it matters. But if we're going to go pick up the Mazmune, maybe we'll save a repel or 2 for that. The fights here are not that bad. Worms and Frosties. Earth level, nothing much here either, really, I guess. I mean, less encounters means you go faster, but we only have so many repels. We can't do it everywhere. And, like, the fire floor is particularly trivial for random encounters, so no need to waste a repel now. Yeah, I mean, we're doing 1,000 damage. We're maxed out, in case you're... I mean, we're level 50. I didn't really show all my stats, but 168... I don't know, what was it? It's 128, 170 is a break point for hit rate. So we've got a pretty good weapon for a level 50 maximum hit. You know, we're getting an extra swing at very nearly the hit rate we're at. I think... if you went... no, that Holy would not give us an extra attack. The Trident would. So if you really wanted one more swing, you could drop like 20 damage and get a little bit of extra crit. I don't think that's better, like 1 extra swing, but trading that much base damage, I think probably is a downgrade. But because we ignore defense, you don't need max damage too much, right? Like, the classic trade-off is if enemies have high absorb, you want to make sure you have a high base damage to pierce it. Otherwise, you're... lots of swings that do 5 damage each doesn't really matter. You'd rather have a big hit. But we ignore defense, so lower base damage, lots of hits would work just fine. So it makes the calculation a little bit different than vanilla. I don't think we need to worry about carry. Yeah, didn't think so. We might not be able to one-shot the Kraken. I mean, we didn't before, and this version of the Kraken's a little bit stronger. Now, we're a lot stronger, too, level 50 with a stronger spear, but... I might still use defense strats on this one. Maybe? Thinking. Oh, this is the floor I was going to repel. We don't have very long to think. Think quick. Think fast. Do we want straight kill? I think we defend. Good turn order. It's not good. Defend number 2. Alright, as long as I get one more defense, we should be fine. And then I'm going to do one... Oh, I forgot to give myself my power glove. Shoot. I'll have to re-equip that. I think I did equip it, and then when I died, I forgot to switch it out. Obviously, it didn't make much difference. Maybe we didn't need the defense. We can still equip it. It's a small downgrade over the Pro Ring, but it gives me an option for increasing my physical attack during a big boss fight. And against Chaos, we're going to want it because Chaos has Cure 4, which full heals, and a lot of hit points. So we probably want to make sure we're fully buffed before we start swinging at him, just in case. We should have enough repels to get all the way there. Also, say goodbye to our best spear because as awesome as this wind never failing thing is, I don't think it can even come close to the Massa. This is going to get us another attack, way more base damage, and about the same crit. Now, if you're weak to wind, sure, maybe the other one's a little bit better, but everything else, including Chaos, is not weak to wind. Like, very few things are actually weak. So, don't warp. Tiamat, we're still super effective against Tiamat regardless, so our weapon choice doesn't even matter because we just kill dragons. So we just kill dragons, as I say. No need to leave. Alright, so one more real fight, I guess. Here we go. Boy, that was a pretty easy Topher. Thanks to Repel and also our overpoweredness. So I will take this seriously. We'll go defend. We'll go defend again. And we're going to go 3 for the maximum evade. Getting chip damaged a little bit. Then we're going to Power Glove, I think until he cure... Oh, we got slow 2'd. That's very unfortunate. Oh, this might not work. Well, let's see how much damage we can do. Dang it. How did we do 7 attacks? Okay, science time. Slow 2 generally puts you at 1 attack. So if we attack normally, yeah, we're useless. But apparently jump ignores slow? Dragoon is too strong, guys. That's one of the few things that can hit you through a ribbon because it's non-elemental. And it's based on your magic defense. So the fact that it hit us first shot, kind of unlikely, lucky. Normally on a fighter run or a black belt run, if Chaos hits you with slow 2, it's just try again. Unless you have access to the fast spell, there's no real way to come back from it. But we've learned something else about Dragoons. Jump doesn't care about slow, which probably means you can't boost it with fast, which is fine, because we just did 4,000 damage and killed with a little bit of Power Staff. I think we used the Power Glove twice. You could obviously stack it up even more, but... yeah, there you go, by the way. We are at a second episode under an hour, so less than 2 hours, and we had some pretty big, fails. So, yeah, solo challenge Dragoon. I'm going to say that's a success. I'll go to the title here to show you the in-game time. So that was an hour and 27 minutes plus whatever it took to get to Chaos. Not counting death reloads, because this is just in-game time. I have done a solo black belt, not in New Game Plus mode. It took a lot longer. And our last run that we did was... this one, right? This was the first run we did, and then the second run we did. And New Game Plus took nearly 9 hours, because I did some grinding between episodes to keep up. Solo Dragoon, so much. Like, not even more difficult at all. I really highly recommend. If you just want a fun introduction solo run, this is the one. I highly recommend it. You don't have to play as fast as I did. You can play a bit carefuler, smarter, and there's probably some strats I didn't think of course, but... the jumps are just too good, especially solo. So yeah, we're gonna call that an episode here. I still have quite a few characters that I haven't showcased at all, so we still need to demonstrate what monks do, red, white, black mages. I still need to show off geomancers, trainers, summoners, bards, and spellblades. So I've still got, I think, 9 classes left. That's one of the reasons I wanted to do a solo challenge. It means maybe I'll do another solo challenge with someone on the weaker end. This was too easy, right? So maybe I'll look through what do you guys think? Either new game or normal mode. Which class? I'll leave it for the last question for chat for comments. Which job would be the hardest to do a solo run on, promoted or unpromoted? And I don't think, like, we've already done Thief enough. I don't want to do Thief again. Somebody other than Thief. My gut is telling me that the most difficult is going to be either Green Mage or Bard, but I don't know for sure. Time Mage might be tricky because they don't get a lot of killing. Summoner's pretty slow. But we'll have to think about it. And maybe I'll save that for last. Probably 2 more runs in theory to show off the 8 more classes, and then who gets the final run. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my challenge run, showing a solo Dragoon, which was a lot of fun. And boy, that might be as fast as we can beat this game. To be fair, the first time I did do it once beforehand. I knew a little bit what was coming. Secret achievements? You need to beat the game under 4 hours. We did it in under 2 hours, I think. And also do it without taking extra steps. Speedrun strats. So, also avoid extra encounter strats. It's pretty fun. Gilgamesh, who's that? We'll have to show that off at some point. But yeah, lots of cool secret challenges. Probably lots more. I am trying to avoid spoilers in the comments. I know some people are doing their best to tell me all the stuff that is out there before I get there. That's why I'm recording these in advance, so it's harder for people to spoil all the secrets for me in the comments. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed. I'll see you next time for probably some more. I'm having a really good time with Renaissance, and I'd like to show off all the classes for YouTube because, I don't know, it's cool. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing a Renaissance normal or New Game Plus mode next. I like normal mode a little bit better. New Game Plus, it just accelerates it a bit too much. It's not really that difficult. And all the extra XP and gold kind of just skips the early game and the unpromoted stuff. So I don't think I get a good feel for the classes if you start promoted all that well. But anyway, yeah, that's it. See you guys next time. Have a great day.